Pinjali. Okay. Okay, friends, welcome back to yet another session of Understanding Your Mind. We have learned in detail about the story of consciousness, and we started with manus. So in the manus, we have seen how the manus will be acting, how it is connected to the story of consciousness, and now we are still continue with those. As I told, there will be 7 verses on manus. So we have completed the first 2 verses in the last session. And now we will see the next 2 sessions. Okay, how the mark of self and how it is differentiating, the manus is differentiating, right? So everything is actually the manus only. Everything that it is acting is manus only. If we say that, so we say that, oh, my manus said that, okay. We say that, okay, whatever I feel here, I'm doing it. That's what we say it, right? We don't know whether this it has done from here or it has done from here. Our mind says something, right? So we don't know what exactly. So we will see what it is exactly that manus is saying to us. Before we go for it, let me just share my screen and then show the stanza first, so that we can go over. Slideshow. Shortcut, not able to see. Okay. Slideshow from current slide. Okay. The mark of self. Sorry. The mark of self. This is the one which is the stanza now, 18th stanza. The object of manus is the mark of a self, found in the field of representations at the point where manus and the store of consciousness touch. Okay, the object of manus, where is that manus is there? This is a brain actually, right? So manus is where it is located in a body. So we don't know, that is again the subtle thing. So manus is the mark of self. We say that I told, I feel. So that self-feeling, right? That is the manus. Okay. Found in the field of representations. How it is found? It is finding in the representations only. Manus, suppose if I say that this is Krishna, how I am saying that is Krishna? If I say that Krishna consciousness was shown, and if I ask like who is Krishna, then I cannot tell, because I need one kind of representation for Krishna, one kind of representation for Rama. So that kind of representation, it is only, that is the field of representations. This manus is found with it is actually having the field of representations. I will say that this is the phone and this is the airport. So I just put that one kind of a representation for that, one kind of an image for that. Then I am saying that at the point where the manus and store of consciousness, there is a store of consciousness, there is a lot of things, it is continuously storing in our store of consciousness. From the moment that we are in the womb of the mother till now, it is the store of consciousness is increasing day by day, because actually everything we are storing in that. Okay, where that store of consciousness and this manus is touching. So that's a point where that manus is there, that the field of representations are there. The manus is touching the store of consciousness. Then because if I see a friend, let us take, I see a friend by Sneha. Okay, next time, how do I represent? First time when I see her, okay, my manus is actually storing her image inside me and representing her picture inside me and remembering her name in my brain. So in my memory, so I'm remembering. So next time when I met her, first time I don't know, so I just got introduced to her. Next time when I met her, my store of consciousness, manus is going and pulling that store of consciousness over this rupam, this thing, this is the Sneha. Then I'm calling her. So that is how, where the store of consciousness and the mark, the self, they are actually mingling. That is the part which is the, it is marking as a self. Okay, now we'll see a bit detail. The object of manus is the mark of self. The object of manus is the mark of self. Mark of self or the thinking mind is constantly seeking an object to focus on. It is constantly seeking. A manas cannot be sit idle. It always seeks an object to focus on. In this context, the object it seeks is the mark of self. Mark of self. It always wants to see that self within that object. It refers to the notion of the distinct and separate self-identity that the mind tends to grasp to. It refers to the notion of distinct and separate self-identity that mind tends to grasp onto. I'll give you a very a very layman example, I can say, but still, maybe it helps to understand more, right? How it is actually. Suppose a person, you bought a car. Let us take, you bought a car because you bought your first car and you are super happy for that day. You bought a Honda Accord and you are super happy and you wanted to show it to your friends and you wanted to share the happiness, because one thing is that you associated with that object, Honda or whatever the thing that you associated with it, and you felt happy. So you are good. Until that you are good. Then whenever you called your friend and told that you got this Honda Accord and you are super happily, you just excited, and he said, "Oh, I'm very happy for you. I also bought a car because I also got a job." "Oh, what car you bought it?" "Oh, I bought a BMW or a Mercedes or in fact Tesla, some luxury car name he gave it." So the moment the other person told, your happiness, you just felt decreased. If you just felt decreased, what way? The previous self and now self, what does it change? It doesn't change anything. You are still having that car. You are still owner of that car. Why? The other person car is you are associating. You are self-identifying that person you have only because you are yourself is identifying with the car that you have it. You are identifying with the object that you have it. You are identifying the other person with the object that he had it. Why? That is where the problem. You are identifying your self, mark of self with that, and your mind is grasping to that. The mind is always want and always discriminate, but your manas is also going there. That is the mark of self. That's what the problems where it creates, right? That's where the manas is playing with all of us. Found in the field of representation. Where it is found, manas is where it is found in the field of representations. If that manas found in happiness, because I got a car, my friend also got a car that he wanted. I got a car about what I wanted. I'm happy, my friend is happy. If you found your manas in that happiness, in that blissfulness, you would have been very happy. But what you did is you are identifying yourself with the object. That is where the problem comes. Okay. The field of representation refers to the realm of mental impressions. The field of representations means what? The mental impressions, your impression, right? Until then you have got good car, and then when the neighbors, your representation was changed. That's why you are not actually, you have some high, low, luxury, because both cars, if distance A to distance B, you can travel in the same distance, in fact. So both are giving the same thing. Maybe it is a bit of more luxury. That's all that matters. Maybe you will buy that car later, but it doesn't matter, right? So whenever you started comparing, whenever your manas is representing with the objects, then your happiness is gone. That's a problem. Okay. Mental impressions, memories, and the concepts stored in the store of consciousness. Because it stored the conscious in your memory, it is stored your friend got a better car. Instead, if your mind stores that your friend also got a car and he is also happy like you can be more happy. That's what we have to. You should be double happy because you got car and your friend also got a car that he wanted. You should feel double happy whenever you identify yourself with consciousness, not with the mere representations. But here, if you identify yourself with the mere representations, that's a problem. Okay. These representations serve as a raw material from which the mind constructs its perceptions and ideas about the world and the self. So mind is constructing. The self means it is not actually constructing that I am a consciousness. My friend is also a consciousness. We both came from the one supreme consciousness. We should have a oneness. That kind of feeling is not there. If we are having that kind of feeling, when I have the same consciousness is there in among all the things, okay, the consciousness in one form got a Honda car, the consciousness is the other form got a Tesla car or some Mercedes car. So you feel so happy because all are the same kind of thing. So, but our mind, our manas is not representing that way. Manas is always going into the raw material, external things. It is perceiving the world through our senses. Okay, the mind is constructing and perceptions of the ideas of the world. These ideas of the world is only self. That's what we are thinking. So whatever, suppose somebody asks, who are you? Then I'll say Prasanna. It is not the self. It is the name of the name given to this body. Okay. Then what are you? Oh, I'm working as in a Citibank and so on and so on. That is the work that I'm doing. Then if I say that I'm a mom of 2 kids. That is because they choose you to be the mom. That's why you became a mom. I'm a wife of so and so. That is for this particular lifetime. So what? So where is that? So I'm representing myself with the worldly things. So if somebody asks me to describe, this is what I describe myself. Will I say that I came from the supreme consciousness? I came for some particular object in some particular goal in this life. I need to fulfill that life, and I need to go and I bought some bondage. I need to experience all these things. Will I say that? Even though I know whenever a bit of knowledge when I come to the spiritually, but still I represent my manas, always want to represent myself with the worldly things, with the representations. Sorry. At the point where the manas and store of consciousness touch, when the manas and the store of consciousness, so that is what the self, right? When the manas and store of consciousness touching, the point of interaction between the manas and the store of consciousness, where the mind accesses the various mental representations and constructs its perceptions and interpretations. It is at this juncture that the mind perceives or identifies with the certain mental impressions at the basis of self-identity. That is where the same example I'll take, because I'm running the same example. So here you got a car, you got a Honda Accord, which is a nice car, good car. So you have that perception in your mind, but whenever your friend says that he got a Mercedes, your perception, you identify yourself with that. Sorry, Andy, somebody, can you go on mute, please?
No, but I feel like last rotation.
Okay. Yeah, I'm muted. Okay, so when you are perceiving yourself, sorry. Okay. When you are perceiving yourself, in your mental image, that Honda car was very good, but when in your mental image, you are perceiving that store of consciousness, you already stored that the Mercedes in your store of consciousness, because you know how it is. Then you started comparing, because manas is touching your store of consciousness. There is another car, representation is there within you. So you are touching that consciousness and you are not feeling happy. That's where the problem, because you yourself are identifying yourself with the representations of the worldly things. Whenever you are representing, the representation. Sorry. Okay, it went. So that representations are already stored in your manas. So sorry, it's already stored in your store of consciousness. Your manas is going and touching. You can see this everywhere in your life. If you are mindful, you can see that everywhere in your life. I have seen so many people, they get ready so well. Okay. So as if whenever you are getting, I'm not saying don't get ready. You are saying you are getting ready and you are going for a party. You are so cool. You look so good. Okay, but you need an approval because of everybody saying that you look good. But in your manas, so somebody compares and okay, you got this sari, so somebody else got the sari, that color looks good. Somebody, let us take it. Should not be comparing. Again, that particular person also, the representations are storing in that mind. The moment somebody representing, you store some other representation in your mind and you are identifying that with the self. As long as you enjoy things that you have, it is fine. But the very simple example, you have a gulab jam today. Let us take, you like sweets so much. or jalebi for that matter, whatever you like. You got it today. Nobody is asking not to enjoy it. Just enjoy, but do not store that representation in your store of consciousness and expect the same thing to the tomorrow. That's where the problem. But our manas is saying that is the only. Here, manas is marking self. Oh, I like gulab jam. See, I am actually, myself is identifying with that particular thing. That's where we are marking the self. Okay, let's go to the next. So manifestation phenomena, right? So here, so the manas is actually, so what are the store of, here eight store of eight consciousnesses are there. That is what is eight. One is store of consciousness, second one is the manas, and the remaining 6 ones are the 6 senses. So these are all the store of consciousness. So the object of manas is realm of representations. The object of manas, what is the object of manas? The realm of represent, whatever you are representing, you are storing n number of, nowadays the cloud storage comes and we are storing all our pictures on all the blah, blah, blah into the cloud storage. But the biggest cloud storage is our brain itself. We are storing so many representations from the day we born to now. We are, as we are growing, we are actually storing so many representations in our mind. That is what we are doing. It's a realm of representations only. Okay. And the nature of the world is obstruction. So the obscuration, whatever the nature of the world, whatever it is there, it is. Obscuration means it is there. Manas is obscured means it loves blindly. Whatever it sees light, it loves blindly. The object of love of the manas is, it is holding tightly. Something it is holding tightly in the reality, in the real consciousness. It is not holding tightly of the truth. If it hold tightly the truth, that is a different thing. It is holding tightly the objects that it perceived through the senses. Like I said in the previous example, you like your Honda car until you saw some other car. You are clinged. You are actually loving your car so much. When something else you better found that you stored that representation, you started feeling comparing and feeling bad. So both the cases, you stored this image, this representation, you stored the Mercedes representation. Both you are actually storing in your mind. So this is it is loving blindly. It is not actually thinking. Why? What happened? If he buys the better car, what happened? So whatever I needed, I got it. Then why am I feeling that bad? I never wanted that car. Why am I feeling that bad? So it is not actually going for the truth. It is only just storing that representations. Okay. Here the object of this lover's perception. The manas is like object of the lover's perception, right? Both lover and manas. So here is a thing in itself. That's we are actually loving, and the manas are the thing itself. That is the car is the one which we are loving with. That is the store we are keeping in our store of consciousness. Similarly, here, not only this, he also says that suppose you love a person. Okay, I love that person. You say, actually, if you see whether you are loving the person as such or you are loving the image of the person. Think yourself, anything, right? Because when you are loving the image of the person, because that guy is a 6 feet guy and is having a very good physique and all the things, and or he is singing good, because you may be liking the so many other representations only you are loving. You are not loving the person as it is. Here the perception, you are perceiving that person through some physique or some talent or something, then you are loving. If you love a person sincerely, anything, you will never suffer, because you always try to give. You will not expect anything. That is the love. But if you are loving a perception or image of that particular person, you will feel bad, because whenever your image got damaged, then you start feeling bad. That is the manas, that it is doing trick. Ask yourself what you are loving. Here also ask yourself whether you are loving the car to commute, or whether you are loving the brand that you wanted. Similarly, when you are loving a person, whether you are loving person as it is, or the quality within the qualities, or the physique that you are loving. So you always have that object. When the manas and store of consciousness are in contact, when manas and store of consciousness both are in contact, their two energies brings the object point where the manas and store of consciousness meet and overlap. Because when I want something, my store of consciousness, when both energies were overlapped, Then you feel, okay, I want it kind of thing, right? Then it arises the ground of store of consciousness. Then it touches the part of the consciousness, it touches the image of the consciousness, or it touches the object of perception, that whatever that you are touching, right? That perception you are actually touching. In order to transform the manas, right? In order to transform the manas, what we have to do, how we can transform the manas? We have to look deeply into anything, deeply into the elements of ignorance. What is that ignorance that we are having? What is that we are craving for? So we have to see deeply. Same example, I'll go back. Why I am feeling bad when somebody think, what is that I am loving? What I want it? I want some car so that I can commute easily. I need not depend on taxi or Uber or something like that. So I asked for it and I got it. Why I'm feeling bad now? You look deeply into yourself. Whenever you look deeply into yourself, then you will see actual manas. Means you'll go beyond that manas. You will see that actual element. You will see that ignorance or the craving. What for you are craving, right? That manas. What is that manas was stored in the store of consciousness? Look deeply into your manas. Identify your seeds of ignorance. In Sanskrit, we call it as avidya, ignorance. Look deeply into the ignorance and try to find out the cravings or afflictions that you have within yourself. What is that you have within yourself? Is it that I always wanted to have the top car among my friends? Is it that? Anybody can have it, right? Only one person. Why can't I be happy? So think yourself. In that way, you can look deeply into it. Then you can see how actually when you see that orange, right? Oh, the seed will grow. If I put all the if I put it in the soil and give all the things, and it will grow as a plant. How it is, right? Likewise, you will see where exactly that seed was into your store of consciousness. When that jealous, because here in the car example, that jealous came into you. That jealous seed, when it was there in your store of consciousness, why you are pouring the water inside that particular jealous seed? Why can't you just throw it away? Why can't you push it away, that particular thing? That you will be able to understand when you are looking deeply into your manas. So like I can say, in our body, we have a good cells, we have a cancer cells. You all agree, right? But to which cells we give a food? If I give all the junk food, which is good for cancer cells, then they will grow. If I give all a healthy food, which is good for the normal cells, the healthy cells, then they will grow. So what cells you are feeding? Similarly, in your mind also, to what seeds you are feeding. Okay, then the mind go to the store of consciousness, then it will pick up the good seeds or bad seeds, or the seeds that are useful, wholesome seeds or unwholesome seeds. So you should look deeply into your manas and only entertain the seeds that are wholesome in nature, or entertain only those seeds so that you will be able to grow personally. That is what we have to do. So we should always be observed that veil of ignorance, right? The Maya, the veil of ignorance, we should always be eliminated. Manas has store of consciousness in it. That store of consciousness contains everything. Means it includes the nature of Buddha. It includes the enlightenment. It includes jealous. It includes pride. It have by acceptance. It has the willingness. Everything was stored. So which store? Which one? You cannot say that one person is if he's feeling a bad. No, he is not a bad, because he also had the jealous, and you and me also had the jealous. But the thing is, to which seed we are pouring that water, which seed we are taking that manas and touching the store of consciousness. That's where the problem, that's where we have to be very careful. That's where our mindfulness will have some impact on it. In fact, 8 consciousness of all the mental formations have nature of interbeing and interpenetration. So all our 8 consciousness are interbeing. They are tightly coupled like this, and interpenetration. One is actually giving the other, one is raising the other. So it is all collective. Some are collective, some are individual. Some are collective because of the parents, because of your siblings, because of the environment that you grow up. Some of the natures is already there in your thing. So that nature you cannot change it, but only thing is you can stop it and keep it away in your store of consciousness, because It's not your fault sometimes. Because of the environment, you got some of the seeds were already planted in your thing. You need to observe them and you need to pour the right seeds. The manas eliminate, we try to eliminate the manas and we like to destroy. If you do not try to eliminate our manas, if you try to eliminate totally manas, you are destroying yourself. Manas should be there because manas is a one which is the subtle energy which is going to your store of consciousness and picking up the seeds and making them grow. Suppose if you are putting a one seed in the earth and giving all the water and sunlight and everything, then it is growing. Similarly, here we have store of consciousness that all the seeds are there. But if without the earth, without that the soil, it won't grow. Similarly, without manas, the things will not grow. The manas should be there. Don't try to eliminate the manas. But the manas, it has to touch the right elements or right seeds. It has to eliminate. It has to touch the store of consciousness. If a flower, the flower, we can see the sun, compost, the compost and the earth. One brings with all the other things. So, which means the flower, we need all the things. With all the things, then only the flower will come, right? So, it has to be. We have to be practiced like this. We will not complain about manas. Don't complain about manas because and make it suffer. Okay, but see which representation, what is the representation that it is going. So better understand these representations and practice the things that are not actually useful to you. The practice all the things that are not useful to you. Okay, so here there is a manifestation phenomena. Now we'll come to the manifestation phenomena, how the things will happen. So how actually from the store of consciousness, how it will be manifested, because you have the thought, you have a mind. Thought, whenever you give some kind of thing, then only it will get manifested, right? The first one is cause as a condition. Hetu pratyaya. There should be a cause. For anything, there should be a cause. Hetu pratyaya, the first one. Even though the cause itself is limiting, the result can be nevertheless be significant. Nevertheless, a significant. It's a wrong thing. Significant. Okay. Nevertheless, it can be so significant because there should be a cause. Suppose I eat wheat, I eat rice. Let us take now because rice is going so popular. So let's take rice. We eat rice. So how we'll get the rice from one rice grain? This thing, if you put that in the land, then the whole plant will come. It will give so much of the rice grains, right? One single grain of rice gives a rice plant, and the entire rice plant is coming up. So that means what is the cause? The people want to eat the rice. Then we need to grow, or we need to cultivate the land and then grow the rice. So this is the cause. And hetu prakriya, it was started. That's how it was started. Okay, we will take the rice example throughout this manifestation. Okay, condition of development. The second one is condition of development. Adhipati pratyaya. There are two kinds of conditions for development. One, favorable development, and those hinder the development. So whenever we want to grow the rice, there are two things can happen. One is helping to grow the rice plant. One is hindering the growing the rice plant. There are two things. Okay. The rice plant is a perfect example for this, we can say, because now that is the problem that we got it, right? So when the rice plant is growing, we need to have the sunshine, rain, soil. All the three things should be there. They will help to grow the rice plant, become the rice grain to become the plant, depending on the time and amount and quality of each. Because depending on the time, because the rice, now why the rice ban was happened? Because when the rice was grown, the rain, there is a lot of rains. Because of lot of rains, this rice grains cannot, they may not produce yield this year. When they cannot produce the yield this year, the rice which is already there may be sufficient for the people over in India itself. So if we all of the other countries has got export, and then the people over India, which is the main crop for them, they may not have the enough rice. That is the reason there is a ban for export. That's the thing, right? So here the problem is because the rice, the right time, the right amount of the water should be there. Even though the water, sunshine and soil is required, here the water is giving wrong time and excess of the water was given. Because of that, it is an unfavorable condition. Whatever the things that is there, it should be given to the right amount of the time at the right amount and right time. Then only it will yield the proper grace. But it gave you the wrong time and wrong amounts. That is why it is unfavorable conditions. So sometimes whenever we are developing that Adipati Pratyaya, so not all the things we may have the right time. We may, so some of the things, unfavorable conditions may be there, and the things may not get manifested. But again, as some older things, older people will say, so whatever happened is happened for good. Here he is also saying the same thing. Sometimes these unfavorable conditions may be avoiding something destructive in your life. I cannot say the rice, because even if I take the rice example again also, because the same thing, it started exporting to the other countries. Let us take, you have so many other alternatives. Now it is a time to eat healthy. There is it is not at all healthy for the people who are like us, who are sitting in a central AC and who are not actually getting any sweat out of the bodies. Then it is not a good to eat that much carbs. So eating those many carbs, and so it's a time, maybe it is a time that you need to change your food habits. Go to the less carb and more of the other things, more of the vegetables is a kind of thing. Maybe these unfavorable conditions are maybe helping you to move on to the healthy habits. So that's what, thank God, for some of the cases you are not getting manifested. Unfavorable conditions are coming. So you may be avoiding something destructive. You may avoid something destructive. So that is the reason why these things are not favorable. That is the second condition, the condition for the development. What is the third one? Object as a condition. Alambhana pratyaya. Without the object, there is no perception. Without object, there is no perception. We should have an object to perceive and to get it. Here, the rice is good because from the beginning, from the childhood, we started eating it. So we know that rice because there are so many jokes. It came, oh, I will cancel my green card. I'll cancel my citizenship. I'll go to India. What is the use of having Tesla car and not having rice? Like a kind of joke, because you attached, you clinged so much to that rice. Without that, you are thinking that you cannot live. Being in US, there are so many other alternatives. We need not go and run to the Indian stores and get 10-20 bags and not thinking about our fellow Indians also, and are keeping them all storing. That is such a bad thing. Where is oneness for us? When we feel oneness, get whatever you want for this month and next month, at least 2 months. It's at least acceptable. By that time, if nothing is there, then everybody will get 2 months. Then everybody will think of an alternative. Everybody will go for something else. Why are you not able to think about our Indian colleagues or your Indian friends also? At least forget about if not the whole world. Why can't you think about where is the oneness? That is the thing, right? Here, that's a perception. We should have it. So here, example is Ananta Pindika. There he is a great follower of Buddha. Okay, somebody, the Anantapindika's some relative gave you, because he was not given, because he didn't see the Buddha directly. Okay, this Anantapindika heard the name of Buddha from his relative. So as soon as that word, that name arises, right? So he feels so much love. So much love about Buddha, because that whoever that relative he gave, right? He gave that picture. He gave that perception to him. So this is the perception, this is the picture, right? So he gave some picture. Because of the picture, because of that perception, he started loving that one. He started loving and he started worshipping that. Oh, I wanted to meet. So once he met Buddha, that image and that particular person was changed, and your mental representation was fixed on that particular person. Then he became so much devoted and he prepared, because whoever is the relative, right, that brother-in-law, Anantapindika's brother-in-law is the one who is actually told about Buddha. So he gave a good picture. He gave a very good picture and a very good perception about that Buddha to him. That is why he is able to go and see, and he became closer to the Buddha. That is one of the that's how you will also, because we will form, when the video calls are not so famous, like 10 years back, I was participating in one of the Parayana group in DC Metro area. So they used to listen to my tone, and they used to ask my questions or anything, right? That's all they used to listen. Okay, when suddenly in one of the event I went, everybody said, oh, you are not like what we thought. because with my throat, with my tone, they had some imagination. So with my thing, like whatever that I'm talking about spiritually, that this and all, they imagined me like a 50, 55 years old lady, some kind of image they have it. I went in a jeans and a top, they just really shocked. Oh, you are like this? Because that's a perception. So with the kind of words that we are typing, people will have some kind of image. So with that image, they will just, it's a mind is a representation. It's a representation. Everything we try to form some image. Whether we see or not, we try to form that image. That's what the object of the condition. We need to have some alambana, something. So in the meditation also, some people can be in the breath. Breath is also some alambana, right? You cannot go just like silently. So we are taking that breath. Some people will focus on that and Krishna. Some people will focus on their all the, because that's some object they wanted. We want some breath. That is an object. Actual meditation is do not care anything. You just go into the silence. You have to drop everything, because that we are not able to do it. We are taking the breath, because once you are with the breath, you cannot be with other thought, as Buddha explained. So you cannot be with other thoughts. So we are just taking the breath as a thing. Okay. Condition of immediate continuity. So we need some immediate continuity for that breath, for the thought. We need to have some immediate. That is samantara pratyaya. We need, suppose the flower has blossom. So it has some previous event, it has some post event. So immediately there should be some pratyaya. So for every manifestation, we need to have something. So parallel manifestation is there. The flower for this moment needs the flower for the previous moment in order to exist. So it has to blossom, it has to be there, something it has to exist, right? So that is the thing. So it is a continuous thing. For anything to be born, any phenomena to manifest, it needs these four conditions. Anything, a thought, anything to born or anything to manifest, we need to have these four conditions to manifest. That is, the conditions are hetu pratyaya, and the seed of the things that arise, and nothing arises on alone. So nothing in our thing, it arises alone. You need to have that hetu pratyaya, and then you need to have that object. Before object, what is the thing? You need to have the condition to develop, and then you need to have an object, and you need to have some samantra prakriya. These four conditions are required for any of the thing that has to be manifested, that creates the perception. We need to have it. Suppose what will happen during the night? This is all happening when our senses are working. When our senses are working, all these things are happening. What is happening during the night? During the night, what are we manifesting? During the night, our mind is subjected to the will of manas. Our mind is again going to the will of the manas. In sleep, we live not the realm of representation, but the realm of mere images. In the realm of mere images, there also, I'm not talking about deep sleep, I'm talking about sleep. Okay, so when you are in the sleep, still your senses are some of that. So you may not have the representation, but you have some images were stored. Whatever that you see, some images were stored. When you are sleeping, right, this manus urges, manas is asking, oh, I want this, that urges that mind consciousness to make use of these seeds that is there, which is in the store of consciousness, and create an environment that satisfies the desires of manas. So it is urging that mind, okay, I want to satisfy this. So it is actually asking for something. So that's how the dreams are coming up. So either the fears that is already there in your mind, the subconscious mind, may come as a dream, or the thing that you stored something and you wanted to become, or you wanted to see, that thing may come as a kind of dreams. So these dreams are nothing but images that are already stored in your store of consciousness. Somewhere, some fear or something that you stored already in the store of consciousness is coming as a dream. So that is there in your store of consciousness. But a dream person is not a real person. Remember, the person who is dreaming is not a real person. So do not give it much importance. In the same way, the object manas is not the real perceiver. At that time, the manas is not the real perceiver. That manas is just perceiving because images, it's not perceiving the real. So the real perceiver here, the aspect is not playing the role. So you just need to, because he's just trying to explain like what it is happening. Okay, the same thing. The was also stored in the Mahayana Sangrahaka. That's the one. Mahayana Sangraha Shastra is the one that Buddhists follow. In that there is a Lankavatra Sutra. So they explained that store of consciousness compared to the ocean, the biggest ocean, which is having all the things it is storing, all the water it's storing, right? Here also the consciousness is storing, the store of consciousness is storing all the images, all the representations that is evolving as just compared to the waves, right? So it is as evolving the waves, everything is storing in our store of consciousness. Manas is looking at the store of consciousness with attachment. Manas is looking, it is not detaching, it wants something. So it is looking for store of consciousness with attachment. So that attachment keep on the truth, because you also have the seeds of enlightenment. Keep your manas on the enlightenment, then you will be able to achieve the things that is actually required. This consciousness has a many functions. Every function of the consciousness is a physical. Every function of your consciousness is become the physical reality. We have that 8 consciousness, as I told. One is store of consciousness, second is manas, and the next 6 are the, so all the 6 that we are perceiving through ears and all the things, right? And those are the things. So when I say, as I told you an example, here Tikhat Nat, right? So he may say that I'm a Dharma teacher, I'm a poet, I'm a gardener, all the things, but they are not separate again. Suppose if I say that I have in the past I worked as a professor, if I say that I have the teaching within me, that the capability is there within me. Now I'm teaching the Understanding Mind, a spiritual book. Is it like that time I taught a computer science and now I'm teaching it? Is it both are connected? Computer science and the thing, the subject, the objects may not be connected, but the thing that the skill that I have, right, there also I have the teaching. So that kind of skill is connected. Similarly, whatever you are doing, right, all the things are interconnected. All the things. So once you are doing good, you will be able to do good for all others. Once you took out that jealous seed in one place, you will took out the jealous place in all other things. Once you feel that oneness at one place, you feel that oneness in all other places. Then you feel that, as in the said in the rice example, you feel, oh, it is stopped. Okay, let us not buy the whole things, because if I buy more things, the store guy may understand something and he may hike the price. Let all my friends also get it. So let me inform everybody. Instead of you go and get it, you will try to inform all your friends and go at least get a store for a couple of months. So that oneness you will feel in every place. If you don't take out that the self, or that that self-centric nature, then you will not. If you are showing at one place, you will be showing at all other places also. You will have the same kind of consciousness, because the consciousness is the same. So wherever you are doing, whatever you are doing, that consciousness, mere that representations and mere that qualities will be there. That self or that kind of thing will appear everywhere. If that self is having oneness, that you will represent everywhere. That suchness you will represent everywhere in the realm, in the entire realm. If you are actually that having that selfishness, then that selfishness only you will be representing everywhere. Okay, this store of consciousness is an ocean. It is evolving every day. So new water is coming, like a new representations are coming every day, and the old waves are coming like a waves. All the things are coming up. So the intimate relationship between our manas and the store of consciousness is the one that we have to remember. So which things we are picking up? The manas is picking up which things, whether it is picking up the truth or whether it is picking up the qualities of jealous and all other things. Which seeds? Depends on the seeds you will transform. You can transform your store of consciousness from wholesome to the unwholesome to the wholesome. So the false perceptions you will not bring whenever you have whenever you understand what exactly it is there in your manas and you picked up, then the false perceptions will not be there. That is what that's what it is saying, that in the third stanza of the thing. Then next one is discrimination, because I already discussed many of the things. The discrimination, we will talk about the discrimination next stanza. As a ground of wholesome and unwholesome. The manas is the ground of wholesome and unwholesome. It is having wholesome seeds like a enlightenment, like a Buddha qualities, Like oneness, all the wholesome seeds are there. Like an unwholesome seeds like pride, jealous, anger, all the things are also there. So both the seeds are there in your store of consciousness. The manas can pick up. Of the other six manifesting consciousness, through other six manifesting consciousness you are storing. Manas continues discriminating. Manas is always continuously discriminating. Manas is not going to the oneness. It is trying to discriminate all the things. This is mine. This is not mine. This is he is my relative. The other person is not relative. He is my family. The other person is not. So Manas is always trying to discriminate. It's nature. The indeterminate and obscure nature is the Manas. The Manas is always doing that because it is its nature itself is that. Manas is the basis for determining the other six manifesting consciousness. It is the basis. Manas is the basis because through eyes you are seeing, through ears you are hearing, through nose you are smelling, all the things, right? So ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. So these are all that eye is the one. Eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. So these are the six consciousness you are getting with the wholesome or unwholesome things you are getting. If Manas loves blind and confused way, if your Manas is a blind and confused way, the other six consciousness also will be blind. If your Manas is not the pure, then you will not, the other six consciousness also will work in that way only. All other six consciousness also will suffer. That blindness of the Manas will go into the six consciousness also. The greater the blindness, the sense, the greater the blindness of the sense of consciousness is also will be the blind. Here blind means it's not the blind. It is the veil of ignorance is there. That is the blindness. When the Manas opens itself and becomes more accepting, when you started accepting the people as they are, when you started accepting the things as they are, these six senses also will accept. It will not discriminate. They try to be openness. They try to be more acceptance, which holds the seeds of the base of the Manas. So it will hold the seeds of the Manas. Whenever you are accepting it, so these seeds also will be opened up and then have the things. The six consciousness stop operating from the time to time. But Manas, the store of consciousness, is a continuous. Sometimes these six consciousness will stop. When you are sleeping, at least, these six consciousness will stop. They are not seeing, they are not hearing, they are not smelling anything. But your Manas is continuously working. Manas goes on working day in and day out. Even in the sleep, it is working. It is working on some images that you already stored in your Manas. Store of consciousness, which it continues but does not discriminate. The nature of Manas in both continuous and discriminating. Store of consciousness, which is continuous. Store of consciousness is continuous but does not discriminate. The nature of Manas and both continuous and discriminating. The nature of Manas is continuous and discriminating. The store of store is like a continuously it is pouring. It is not discriminating. Let us take my Manas has my store of consciousness are images of the Honda Accord car and the Mercedes car or a Tesla car. I have the images of the three. It is just storing. It is saying, okay, this car will be like this car will be like this car will. It is just storing the thing. It's not discriminating anything. It doesn't know anything about it. But whereas your Manas started pulling up, then it started discriminating. This is a ordinary car, this is a luxury car, this is that car, this is that. So your Manas is the one which started discriminating. Store is only continuous, but Manas is continuous as well as discriminating. Manas always holds an object, regards as itself and its beloved. So you started holding some object and you are saying that is mine. You are actually holding yourself with that object. That is why the pain comes. Whenever we are holding some object that is mine, when that is gone, the pain will come. It could be your kids, it could be your job, it could be your the objects that you possess, it could be your home, it could be your friends, it could be anything. That input it could be your spouse, anything that whenever you are holding an object, then when it is not, when we're holding an object, when your spouse is not behaving the certain way that you wanted to behave, then the pain comes because you are holding the other person as yours. That is the thing. Our emotions are stronger than our reason. Our emotions are always stronger than our reason. You know that even though we are the partners, the wife and husband in the thing, he may have his own things, or she may have her own things. So there are certain differences. Definitely we born in a different families and certain differences, some certain, what do you say, certain some certain likes and dislikes we will have. We all, when you are in the spiritual thing, you all will have this kind of thing. So you may be in this field of meditation and all those things, your spouse may not be. So that is also making you angry, that is also making you pain. Then where did you understand? So he is a different, he or she is a different, then you should be able to. And so you should not hold and cling on to it. Our emotions are stronger because you're feeling that is mine, you want to bring that. Instead of you are not following the reason there. Nature of manas is indeterminate. Always it is indeterminate, like unlike a store of consciousness. But it is also obscured by the ignorance. It is indeterminate, that is ignorance, the veil of ignorance. Obscured means that it is covered up. It was covered up because all of us is having, we are all omnipotent, omniscient, right? So we know everything, the knowledge is there within us. But why we are not actually knowing it? Because that Shakti or that light is covered up with all the dust. The light is there within us, but it is covered up with all the dust. I can say Kundalini, everybody says it. Kundalini is the energy that it has. It was stored under the bottom of the spinal cord and it was covered. It was not open. So when it is not open, you will not have an access to that energy. Similarly, here, your store of, you are covered up with all the dusty. Your light of intelligence is there, which is there within you, but you have covered up with ignorance. That is called in Sanskrit, as I told you, that is called avidya. With the avidya, with the ignorance, that's what you need. You need to have that knowledge, the light of intelligence, that is a vidya. So whenever you started with vidya, you know that self-knowledge, then you can just open up. These indeterminants are when it will work, it can only work in the darkness. The veil of ignorance that covers up manas is a tendency to discriminate between self and non-self. Whenever that ignorance is there, you try to discriminate. This is mine, this is not mine. So something, now mine, not mine. So this discrimination will come. When that discrimination will come, then you cannot see oneness in the people. That's where the problem is arising. So when that manas is going for the oneness, then you will be able to. Indeterminate manas, neither wholesome nor unwholesome. Indeterminate manas is not that completely wholesome or not completely unwholesome. It is struggling in between. This means there is a possibility of transformation from clinging and discriminating and let go or non-discrimination. There is two things are there within our state of consciousness. You can cling on to the one thing, or you can say let go. Or you can say discriminate, or you can say non-discrimination. You can feel oneness. The both are there within your state of consciousness, which is indeterminate. Earth can rise the thorns. Earth can rise the thorns, or at the same time it can rise the fragrant fruits and flowers. Both are coming from earth. Similarly, from our store of consciousness, we can get the enlightenment ideas, we can get the Buddha nature, we can get an acceptance nature, we can get a willingness nature, we can get jealous nature, we can get anger nature, we can get pride nature. So both are there in our store of consciousness. The manas, where you are focusing, that is important. It's a continuous. If you started focusing on, it started going on, the thing. When you get attached, you will get anger if the other person is not doing the way you want. When you get anger, you will feel so much pride. I told you, don't you listen? I-ness will, that prideness will come into. So all the things are there. When you started accepting the people, okay, I'll express. So you will start willingness. You will start, acceptance will come with the willingness. Willingness will form the oneness. So this is a store. Continuously it will go on. When the seeds from which the manas have evolved and transformed, when the seeds are coming up, when they evolved and transformed, the manas will be transformed. When these seeds are transformed from non-self to non-self, from determination to non-determination, then your seeds, that you will vanish, that vein, right? Whatever that you have, the vein of ignorance, that will get vanished. Okay, let me complete it. That way, that will have that the non-self, from self to non-self, mind to non-mind, will vanish, and you will be able to understand or you'll be able to transform yourself. That is a pravrutti. The goal is that, so what it is giving, how you can go to this, this from self to non-self. So the meditation, the goal of meditation is to make the root of the manas, whatever that manas root is there, that root of the manas, take that paravrutti. So take that and evolve, revolution. It should make that revolution, meaning that it should touch the base of the thing and it should actually change. It should change the seeds of the thing. Then only you'll be able to understand. The root of the manas is a delusion. It is actually having that seeds of ignorance. It is lying deeply into your store of consciousness. With meditation, you can touch that base of the store, base of your store, and you can get the light of intelligence. When the light of intelligence is there, then that particular veil of ignorance cannot work. Veil of ignorance will work only in the darkness. When you are ignorant, then only it. So when you are in the dark, then only it works. Whenever you have that knowledge, that I think whenever vidya comes up, this veil of ignorance cannot work. So that ignorance will be gone. So you will be mindful of the situations. You will manifest only the wholesome seeds. You will the delusion kind of thing or unwholesome seeds. You will not. You will transform these unwholesome seeds into the wholesome seeds. So then you will be able to, this earth, right, can sprout only the wholesome seeds, because just the earth, you will not, because the seeds are there in your cupboard, the soil is there in your backyard, it will not sprout. There should be a gardener that you should go and keep those seeds into the earth and then soil, give a proper water, sunshine and all the things, then only at the right time, right amounts, then only you will be able to see. If without that, the sprout. Similarly, in our store of consciousness, there are so many seeds are there. Because of the family, because of a society, we have, but the gardener, who is you, should give a proper water to the proper seeds, the wholesome seeds. The earth itself is our manas here. So the earth, you should need to give the proper things. So whenever you are giving that proper things and you practice it, then you will have the joys, peace and transformation. Only the wholesome seeds, whenever you are pouring the water, you will be transformed from within yourself, and you can experience the joy, peace and transformations within you. It will get generated, the mindfulness, the practice of breathing, practice of breathing and mindfulness, practice of walking meditations, all these things. Because walking meditation is in the sense, whenever you are walking, just completely keep all your surroundings. The mindfulness is on all your, how the breath is coming, how the air is coming up, how it is touching, how do you feel, how the surroundings are there. If you are actually focusing all those things, that is kind of thing, awareness. It will increase your awareness. So it will give you your good peace to your intellect. It will make you sprout only the wholesome seeds in your thing. So the mind consciousness will always be so once you transform, the store of consciousness will become the great mirror of wisdom. So your store of consciousness will not have any unwholesome seeds. It will have all wholesome seeds. It is the big mirror of the wisdom. When there is a big mirror of wisdom, you are shining. So whenever you are shining, illuminating with the light of intelligence, the veil of ignorance will not be there. So that knowledge will shine from you to the surroundings. That positive energy, that acceptance will be surrounded by all other people. You will get surrounded by such. You will attract only such a people, or even other people are there with other veil of ignorance. You can get attracted. You can transform. You can help them to transform from unwholesome to the wholesome seeds. With this, I'll stop here because it's already time up. I'm sorry. I need all the three things to complete these two. I need the complete 1 hour. Any questions? Or any comments that you wanted to share? Did you all go in the meditation? After I'm shouting like this, you may not go in the meditation.
Thank you, Prasanna. It's like so deep, yeah. It's like going in.
My voice is not as